This is Kestrel from inkmethis, and we have been out of the ink stirrers. We just got a new shipment, so we are no longer sold out, and I thought it would be a good time to show you a little bit more about them and how they work in case you haven't used a magnetic stirrer. So first of all, ours is a little different. When I was trying to find a stirrer for my own use, I was getting frustrated because I did not want something that dictated the jar size. A lot of stirrers have a round indent on the top for a specific size jar. I didn't want that. And I also didn't want one that was batteries. I didn't want to worry about running out of batteries in the middle of a project. I didn't want to spend money on batteries. I really didn't want to have to go to the store. So I wanted it to be corded. I have used the stirrer on doing on-site calligraphy, and it's never been an issue. People always provide a power outlet. And then, of course, we want it to be pretty because we, as calligraphers, we are kind of surround ourselves in a world of beautiful writing and beautiful art, and we want our tools to be beautiful as well. So I worked with a lab equipment company. They make professional equipment for lab use, and I said, your stirrer is mechanically awesome, but it's ugly. So I worked with them on creating a branded version of the product. It has a brushed gold top to it, and then it is white with gray sides, gold on the end of the button there, and that's it. Nice and clean, simple, white, gray, and gold color combination. Anyways, the most important thing is how well it works. So because this is developed by a lab equipment company, it is actually mechanically designed to accommodate liter-sized jars of liquid. So it's a very powerful motor inside. We are not going to need all the potential power that it has. So my recommendation when you first get your stirrer is to get to know it a little bit by using this jar has water. First, just use a jar with water. Your stirrer comes with 2 magnetic pills. You can buy more of them easily on Amazon. I recommend buying a bunch and leaving one in each jar of ink. You can fish them out and wash them, but I'm lazy, so I like to just have enough to leave it in the jar. The way the stirrer works is by a magnetic force on the inside of the mechanism that is spinning, then pulls the magnet that we are going to put on the inside of the jar. Much like if you put a magnet under a piece of paper and over a piece of paper, you can drag one magnet with the other. Same concept. So first, place the magnet in the jar, place the jar roughly in the center of the unit, and then after, do this first and then turn the stirrer on and just slowly increase the speed. See how it just started spinning? And then I can lower the speed very subtly, and get to know it. Turn it up, turn it down. It takes very little movement of the knob to make an adjustment. Let's see what happens if I crank this puppy up. It's creating like a whirlwind in there. That is way faster than we ever need it. We don't want to create bubbles in our ink because bubbles are no good for ink. So what I recommend doing is getting to know it with water first. You want to first mix your ink at a faster speed. Find that speed where it's moving pretty quickly, but it's not creating bubbles, and let it sit and mix like that until it has a nice consistency. And then once it's really stirred up, turn the stirrer down as low as you can, but keeping the magnet moving. Okay, like that, nice and slow. And just leave it there, and you actually dip in while you are working. You dip right in, and and right and dip and right and dip. If you bump the magnet with the nib, it might interrupt the spin. No worries. You might have to turn it off and back on again just to get that movement going. But you want to just leave it on so that it keeps that ink moving and keeps the particles from settling in the ink while you're working. Okay, I'm going to turn this off before I move it. So let me show you. Here is some gold ink. This is very settled. All the pigment is at the bottom. I'm going to set that on there. I'm going to add a magnet. I've used this magnet before, as you can see, but that is not coming off. Plop it in there. Turn this on. And I'm going to slowly increase the speed. I don't want that magnet bouncing all around and spinning like crazy. But look at how beautifully mixed that ink becomes so easily. And it's very quiet. What you do here is a little bit of tinkling of that magnet against the glass jar. But the motor itself does not make noise. And I would leave it on like this, really low, while I'm working. And that way I can just dip and write and dip and write as if I were using walnut or sumi ink that doesn't require constant stirring. No interruptions to my work, no left-handed loading of the nib with a paintbrush. Makes using metallic ink so much easier to have a magnetic stirrer. And let me show you that it does also work with any size jar. So this is the mica gold ink by Kurotake. It is an odd shape, odd size jar, but the mouth is wide enough to allow for dipping, so I don't need to transfer the ink. Did I put a magnet in here? Nothing is happening because I have no magnet in there. So let me put one in. Now with this, you do hear a little more noise with this jar because of the odd shape the magnet hits the sides. So hear that? That is the magnet hitting the plastic sides of the jar. Let me show you what it sounds like with nothing on it. It's just a low hum. Well, let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.